73% of women who lose hair after the age of 50 spend more than $200 a month on products that don't work. Expensive shampoos, salon treatments, imported supplements, and the hair keeps falling out. But here is what the cosmetics industry doesn't want you to know. 3 tonics that you can prepare in your own kitchen, with ingredients you probably already have at home, are showing, in scientific studies, results superior to drugstore products. And the third has a secret that makes dormant follicles wake up as if they were 20 years younger. But there is a mistake that 90% of people make when preparing these tonics. And if you make it, they're not going to work. I'll reveal it at the end, so stay until the very last minute. Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I'm Dr. Hewan Kim, a specialist in nutrition and hair health. And today I'm going to teach you how to prepare 3 homemade tonics that science has proven stop hair loss. You don't need to spend fortunes. You don't need to go to the dermatologist. You only need your kitchen, 10 minutes, and the right information. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact recipes, application times, and the secret to making them really work. What state are you watching me from today? Tell me in the comments, because I love knowing where my community comes from. Let's start with the tonic that Japanese women have used for centuries to keep their hair long, strong, and shiny well into old age. I'm talking about fermented rice water. Now, before you think this is just an unfounded grandmother's remedy, let me tell you what the science says. A study published in the International Journal of Cosmetic Science analyzed the effects of rice water on the hair and found something fascinating. Rice water contains a compound called inositol, which has the unique ability to penetrate damaged hair and repair it from the inside. But that's not all. They also found that inositol stays inside the hair even after rinsing, which means it continues to protect your hair throughout the day. But here comes the interesting part. Fermented rice water is even more powerful than plain rice water. Why? Because during the fermentation process, a change in pH occurs that makes it more compatible with your scalp. In addition, fermentation increases the concentration of antioxidants, amino acids, and B group vitamins. It is as if the rice releases all of its nutrients in a form that your hair can absorb better. Now I'm going to teach you exactly how to prepare it. Take half a cup of rice. Any kind of white rice works. Rinse it once to remove the dust. Then place the rice in a glass container with 2 cups of filtered water. Let it sit at room temperature. But here is the important detail. Don't leave it for just 30 minutes. Like some videos say. To get fermented rice water, you need to leave it sitting for between 24 and 48 hours. You'll know it's ready when the water has a slightly acidic, somewhat fermented smell. Don't worry, that smell goes away when you apply it. Once it's ready, strain the rice and store the water in a spray bottle in the refrigerator. It lasts up to a week. To apply it, wash your hair normally, and after rinsing out the shampoo, apply the fermented rice water all over your scalp and hair. Massage gently for 2 minutes. Let it work for between 15 and 20 minutes, and then rinse with lukewarm water. You can use it 2 or 3 times a week. The results start to become noticeable between the 4th and the 6th week. Less hair on the brush, more shine, and a stronger texture. Now, rice water is excellent for strengthening the hair you already have. But what if the problem is that your follicles are weakened and no longer producing new hair? For that, you need something more powerful. The second tonic I'm going to teach you has a scientific study that compared it directly to minoxidil, the most prescribed medication for hair loss. And the results are going to surprise you. Did you already know about rice water? Tell me in the comments if you've already tried it, or if this is the first time you've heard of this remedy. The second tonic is my favorite, and probably the one most supported by modern science. I'm talking about the rosemary tonic. Now, rosemary is not just an herb for cooking. The essential oil of rosemary and the concentrated infusions of this plant have been shown to have extraordinary properties for the hair. But what really convinced me was a study published in the journal Skim It in 2015. This study compared rosemary oil directly to 2% minoxidil, which is the standard treatment that dermatologists prescribe for alopecia. And do you know what they found? After 6 months, the group that used rosemary had the same increase in hair count as the group that used minoxidil. But here is the crucial difference. The rosemary group reported fewer side effects, less itching, less irritation, and less scalp flaking. How does rosemary work? It acts in several ways. First, it improves blood circulation in the scalp, When you massage in the rosemary tonic, the active compounds, like rosmarinic acid and carnosic acid, dilate the blood vessels, allowing more blood, more oxygen, and more nutrients to reach the hair follicles. Second, rosemary has potent anti-inflammatory properties. Many cases of hair loss are linked to chronic scalp inflammation, and rosemary helps calm that inflammation. Third, some studies suggest that rosemary can inhibit the enzyme 5-alpha reductase, the same enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT, the hormone responsible for follicle miniaturization. Now I'm going to show you how to prepare the rosemary tonic at home. You'll need a large handful of fresh rosemary, about 3 tablespoons, or 2 tablespoons of dried rosemary. Place the rosemary in a pot with 2 cups of water. Bring it to a boil, and once it's boiling, lower the heat and let it simmer over low heat for 15 minutes. The longer you leave it, the more concentrated the tonic will be. After 15 minutes, turn off the heat and let it cool completely with the lid on, so that the volatile oils don't escape. Once it's cool, strain the liquid and store it in a dark glass bottle. This is important. Light can degrade the active compounds, so use dark glass or store it in a dark place. It keeps for up to 2 weeks in the refrigerator. To apply it, you can do it in 2 ways. The first is as a final rinse after washing your hair. Simply pour the rosemary tonic over your scalp and hair. Massage for 1 minute and don't rinse it out. Let it work. The second way is to use it daily as a treatment. Put the tonic in a spray bottle and apply it to your scalp, dry or damp, once a day, preferably at night. Massage gently for 2 minutes to activate circulation. You don't need to rinse it out, leave it on overnight, and wash your hair normally in the morning. Consistency is key here. The study I mentioned showed results after 6 months of consistent use, but many people report visible improvements, like less hair loss and more shine, starting from 6 weeks. The secret is not to give up. Make it part of your routine, like brushing your teeth, and you'll see the results. Alright, now we get to the third tonic, and this one is special. It is the tonic many people avoid because it has an ingredient with a strong smell. But let me tell you something. If your goal is to reactivate follicles that have gone months or even years without producing hair, this tonic has the most impressive studies. One study found that 87% of the participants experienced new hair growth in just 6 weeks. 87%. Which of the 3 tonics I've taught you so far are you going to prepare first? Tell me in the comments. The third tonic is the onion and honey tonic. Yes, onion. I know you're probably thinking about the smell, but listen to me, because the results of this remedy are so impressive that it's worth tolerating a little bit of smell. Plus, I'm going to teach you a trick at the end to neutralize that smell almost completely. Onion is one of the most studied natural remedies for hair loss, especially for alopecia areata, which is patchy hair loss. A study published in the Journal of Dermatology tested raw onion juice applied directly to the scalp. The participants applied the onion juice twice a day for 6 weeks. The results were astonishing. 86.9% of the participants experienced new hair growth. 86.9%. And not only that, the researchers observed that the growth was more noticeable in men, but women also showed significant improvements. Why does onion work? Onion is extremely rich in sulfur. Sulfur is an essential mineral for the production of keratin, which is the main protein that forms your hair. When you apply onion to the scalp, you are directly providing one of the fundamental building blocks of hair. But that's not all. Onion also has potent antibacterial and antifungal properties. Many times, hair loss is linked to infections or imbalances in the scalp microbiome, and onion helps restore that balance. In addition, onion juice improves blood circulation and has antioxidants that protect the follicles from oxidative damage. Now, why do we add honey? Honey not only helps neutralize a bit of the strong onion smell, but it also has its own benefits for the hair. Honey is a natural humectant that draws moisture into the hair. It also has antibacterial properties and is full of antioxidants. The combination of onion and honey creates a tonic that nourishes, protects, and stimulates growth. Here is the exact recipe. Take a medium onion. Any onion, white or red, works. Cut it into small pieces. Place the pieces in a blender with 2 tablespoons of pure honey, preferably raw, unprocessed honey. Blend until you get a homogeneous mixture. Then use a piece of cheesecloth or a fine strainer to extract the juice, separating it from the pulp. Store the juice in a glass jar in the refrigerator. It lasts for up to a week, although the ideal is to prepare it fresh every 3 or 4 days for maximum potency. To apply it, Divide your hair into sections and apply the tonic directly to the scalp using an applicator or your fingers. You don't need to apply it to the entire length of the hair, only to the scalp where the follicles are. Massage gently for 3 to 5 minutes. This massage is important because it helps the juice penetrate and also activates circulation. Cover your head with a shower cap or a towel and let it work for 30 minutes to 1 hour. If you can tolerate more time, even better. But 30 minutes is enough to get the benefits. Now, trick for the smell. After rinsing out the tonic, wash your hair with your usual shampoo and add a few drops of rosemary or lavender essential oil to the shampoo. This neutralizes the onion smell almost completely. Another option is to do a final rinse with water and a few drops of lemon, which also eliminates the smell and leaves your hair shiny. Use this tonic once or twice a week. Don't use it every day because it can be too strong for some scalps. Start with once a week, and if your scalp tolerates it well, you can increase to twice. Now, before you run to your kitchen to prepare these tonics, I need to reveal the mistake I mentioned at the beginning. This mistake is the reason why many people prepare these tonics, use them for weeks, and don't see results. The mistake is this: applying the tonics on a dirty or clogged scalp. Listen to me carefully. Your hair follicles may be clogged with product buildup, dead skin cells, excess sebum, or shampoo residue. If you apply these tonics on a clogged scalp, the nutrients can't penetrate to where the follicles are. It's like trying to water a plant in compacted soil. The water stays on top and never reaches the roots. The solution is simple but crucial. Once a week, before applying any of these tonics, do a gentle scalp exfoliation. You can use sugar mixed into your shampoo or simply massage your scalp with circular motions for 5 minutes while you're washing your hair. This removes the buildup and allows the tonics to penetrate completely. Since I started recommending this prior exfoliation, my patients have reported much faster results with the same remedies. Alright, let's do a quick recap. Tonic number 1, fermented rice water. Perfect for strengthening the existing hair and repairing damage. Use it 2 or 3 times a week. Tonic number 2, rosemary tonic. The one most supported by science for stimulating growth. Comparable to minoxidil, but without the side effects. Use it daily or as a final rinse. Tonic number 3, onion and honey tonic. The most powerful one for reactivating dormant follicles, with 87% effectiveness in studies. Use it once or twice a week. And remember, before applying any tonic, exfoliate your scalp so the nutrients can penetrate. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 tonics are you going to prepare first? The rice water, the rosemary, or the onion? Tell me in the comments. And if you have any question about how to prepare these tonics or how to combine them, leave it in the comments as well, and I'll answer you personally. If this video was helpful to you, give me a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, because every week I post new content on how to take care of your hair in a natural way. Also, click the notification bell so YouTube lets you know when I post a new video. What state are you watching me from? I love reading your comments and knowing where my community is from. I'll see you in the next video. Take good care of yourselves and take care of that hair.